Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, coming back and watching. I do appreciate it. Hope your day is going well. I'm in Luminar 4 today, and I'm doing a cityscape photo, kind of a dramatic one. And I did a landscape video a little while ago that you may want to check out if you haven't. So I thought I would also do a cityscape, kind of a sample workflow. As I mentioned, it's a little bit dramatic, and I also used a number of filters that I often don't use, but I think they really work on this photo. So let's hop into it. Here's the base photo. Now I did crop this to 16 by 9 to tighten up the composition. This was shot at Blue Hour, a little bit of a long exposure in Nashville, Tennessee a few years ago. So I got the blurred lights and stuff. I like the lines, but as you can see with the long exposure, it's a little bit washed out, needs some contrast. It's a little too yellow for my taste. And frankly, I just wanted to make it a little bit more dramatic as well because I kind of like that, especially with cityscapes. I feel like with cityscapes, you can do a little bit more creatively and get away with it than you can with landscapes because people expect landscapes to look kind of natural. So it's fun for me to do those. Anyway, here's the base photo, and that's my edited final photo where I amped up the details. I took back some of the yellow and just made a number of color adjustments and light and tone adjustments. So let me reset these filters and then we'll jump into the workflow. Okay, here we are with my filters reset, except for light. You can't reset that one, turn it on and off, but that's what it did to the photo. And so what I did here, and by the way, light is basically like the develop filter. It is kind of where I start. And in fact, I tend, as I said in a previous video, I tend to kind of follow the four categories or tabs that represent the different tool sets or filter sets. And I tend to follow through them in order, which is what I'll be doing here. You can see I adjusted the temperature a little bit. I did take smart contrast to 100. Let me reset that. As you can see, very limited contrast, very kind of flat image, which is fine with me for where I start, but I definitely wanted to add contrast. And so, I went like this, and I like smart contrast a lot. As I was pulling it more and more to the right, I was like, hell, I'm just gonna go all the way and see what it looks like. And I think it looks pretty good. In fact, it is more subtle. I did a video about smart contrast if you'd like to check it out, but it's a bit more subtle than the overall global contrast that we had in previous versions. I took the highlights down and then I went into AI Enhance and took AI Accent and just bumped that up about 49. You can see it really pops the photo. I like that filter a lot. It's kind of the easy button. There are plenty of photos where I've just used AI Accent and you're done. So it's that good, right? And you know that from previous versions if you have a previous version. Next was AI Structure, and this was me just kind of amping up a little bit of the grittiness. When I have streets like that and you get that view straight down the street, I want to bring up a little bit of the texture in the pavement. I just think it accentuates the look of the photo. So that's what that was about. I've got to look at my notes. Over here, I went into the Creative tab and just started going through filters and kind of playing around. And this is where I got into things I don't normally use. The first one was Matte Look. And as the name implies, Matte Look gives it a little bit of a faded, kind of a little bit of a vintage look. Some might call it kind of an Instagram kind of thing. I'm not sure, but I kind of liked it here. It's a little bit desaturated. I did add contrast, but I don't know. I thought it worked for me. And then I went into Mystical, also known as Image Radiance in the previous version, and added a little bit of that there because that just adds a little bit of that glow, overall kind of moodiness, and I definitely am kind of going for a moody kind of shot here. So I think that fit well with my theme. Okay, next I went into color styles or LUTs, and I didn't use LUTs a whole lot in Luminar 3 or Luminar Flex. I liked it, it had its place, but I didn't use it very much, but I'm kind of liking it now. I'm having a lot more fun with it, so I'll show you what I did there. You can see it had a sizable impact on the photo. Let me turn that off again. If you look at it, it's a little too orangey bright and too much of that gold tone. And this Bakersfield LUT, if you click on the LUTs, you can see there's a whole bunch of them. But I was in this cinematic toning category and I just chose Bakersfield. I thought it looked pretty good, but you can see all the different ones that they have here, including cross-processing, which was a separate filter in previous versions of Luminar, but it's effectively a color style or a LUT, so I think it fits there. The amount 30, so nothing major, just kind of simple stuff, but I think it gave it a nice overall look. And then I went into Glow, and I used that soft focus bright, and I just think it popped those lights of the passing bus a little bit, which was nice. There's before, and there's after. I was at 6, so very light, but it didn't take a lot, and I didn't want to overdo it. But so far, I like what I've got, but then I need to move into the next tab. And in this case, I just went straight to the professional tab. I skipped portrait because the only thing there I would use would be Orton, but I've already got enough kind of that moody shadow, partly from using the 100% on the smart contrast, and also of course from using mystical. So over here I went to photo filter, another filter that I don't really use that much, but it does allow you to apply kind of a color tone look to your photo, and you can see I think that helped tone down some of the intensity. Let me show you the before, right? Kind of getting that really pinkish purple kind of look from the lights and all the color adjustments up, contrast and stuff kind of impacts color. So all those things are making it look kind of saturated, for lack of a better word. So I just went into photo filter, dragged it over here a little bit towards the blue, and then 18, so not a lot. I mean, you could easily get kind of crazy, and I don't want to do that, right? So I just wanted a little bit of a light touch, and that was really it. I actually paused here and said, you know what, I think I'm done. But the more I looked at it, and I liked it like this, but the more I looked at it, I thought, well, I'm not done. I'm going to do something else. What can I do? And so the first thing I thought was, some of my edits have caused a little bit of graininess to show up in the sky. And so I went and added a new layer. So you just go up here and you say layers, and you say plus new adjustment layer, which is what I did. And I've got an adjustment layer here. So as soon as I turn it on, there you go. I had AI structure, and apparently I forgot to turn that off. But let me show you what I did there. If you look at the sky, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit grainier in the before, and I added AI structure, and you can see how it smoothed that out. So that's what I did. All I did is I went into the masking brush and just clicked brush and clicked on that to show you where I masked it. So I just painted in. Typical masking stuff, very simple and straightforward. But AI structure, even though it's different than the regular structure filter, still works great for doing that sky smoothing and water smoothing that I've done in previous versions of Luminar with the regular structure filter. Okay, next I went to color, so let me turn that off. I had apparently forgot to turn all these filters off. So there it is before I did color adjustments, and then there it is after. So let me show you what I did. I didn't do anything with saturation or vibrance. I think there's plenty of that. I went into some of these specific color channels. So first I went to orange, and I just took the hue a little bit to the left. And then I did the same thing with yellow. I took the hue a little bit further to the left, but then also increased the luminance. So I basically made the hue a little bit more closer to orange instead of yellow, and away from kind of the chartreuse. So let me show you. Like if you go this way with it, you can see how the yellows get really that greenish kind of chartreuse yellow. And I was over here something like that, where it's a bit more closer to orange. But then I increased the luminance, so let me take that back down. Not a massive difference. There's the before, and I think, I don't know what I was at, maybe 50. I kind of forgot. Let's call it 50, but basically I'm just brightening up because I do like the lights, even though I feel like there was a little too much orange color in the beginning. I feel like I still want some of that to be present because, it's a powerful color and it's prominent in the photo, so I'm not trying to hide it. I don't think I did any other things. Blue, yeah, I did take luminance down on the blue, so that's just going to impact the sky. Let me show you one more time the before. See, the sky's a little bit brighter. The yellows, as you can see, they're a little bit closer to that greenish kind of chartreuse kind of yellow, if that's the right name for it. And after, a little bit more orangey yellow, and the blue's a little bit darker. So that was what I did with that filter. And then last thing was really just coming over here to the Pro tab, and I went into Dodge and Burn, and all I did is I just painted a darkening, or a burning, if you will, into everything except the sky. So basically, it's effectively doing local contrast because all I'm doing is darkening all the areas. I started out darkening the blur of the lights, but when I did that over here, I liked how it looked on this building, so I just said, what the hell, why not just do the rest? And then I thought, ooh, the street would look better if it was a little bit darker too. It's going to be brighter here because the light are shining, kind of reflecting off those passing cars. But I just felt like it looked better. So let me show you one more time the before. And I was kind of happy with that photo, but now looking at it compared to this version, it adds a little bit more contrast, having darkened those other areas with Dodge and Burn. And that was really it. I was just trying to go for kind of a moody, dramatic shot that was significantly different than what I started with. And there you go. I mean, I liked the photo overall, but I didn't like the yellow gold prominence in the photo, and I didn't think it had enough drama, and it was absolutely lacking in contrast. And even though there's a lot of gold and yellow, it wasn't really a punchy kind of color look. And I think that's a lot more punchy color look, higher contrast, a lot more drama. And the golds and yellows, while prominent, compared to that, they don't dominate the photo because you've got these darker areas. You know, the blue is a bit more prominent, right? Before and after. Part of that is because I darkened it with the luminance there a moment ago. But also all this contrast here in the street just adds to it, and I think also sets nicely the blue off against the kind of yellow gold tones, which you're really lacking in the base photo. So that was how I did it. That's my workflow, I guess, and a walkthrough of how I do kind of a dramatic cityscape and some different ideas for you, hopefully, regarding filters that you may not typically use, like maybe matte look, or like the color styles or LUTs. I just thought they gave a nice kick to the photo. And that's it for today, my friends. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll be back soon with more videos. Don't hesitate to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you soon, my friends. Have a great day. Take care, and adios.